Okay, we're back. We're going to try something a little bit different here, as we're now going to move on into qualifying. I'm going to try just do a little bit of a screen capture here. So I hope you guys don't mind. This might be a little bit janky. But we're going to qualifying now, so we'll be back soon. Alright, we're back. We had to cut that one short because everyone's getting on the grid. And starting off the pole for this one, gonna be the 2 car of Mr. Chris Champeau. Starting out of P2 will be the 50 of Christian Budd. P3 will be the 60 car of Carl Kraus. P4 will be the returning TJ Cranton in the, what's that, 51 car? 61 car. There we go, 61. P5 will be the 22 of John Lazelle, sorry, 23 of John Lazelle. P6, 24 of Frank Isaacson. P7, the 39 of James Watson. P8, the 5 of Mark Pentecoff. P9, the 15 of Ken Campbell. P10, the 4 of Jaron Sanchez. P11, the 78 Brian Kemi. P12, the 13 Travis Messer, and wrapping up the field, the 64 car of Jonas Marquez in 13th. As I said, this is going to be a super scuffed broadcast. You guys can see things that you're not supposed to see, like my Windows bar. Yeah, I'm not too impressed that I have to show you guys my Windows bar. You guys can see how full it is, and yeah. I'm not sure whether we're on 1 to green or 2 to green. Looks like 1 to green. We're going green this time by. And we're off and racing.
Green flag.
And Christian Budd with a huge jump off the start of this race. We're still watching the mid-packs here. But Christian Budd definitely got that pivotal jump that he needed to get into the lead of this race. He's still sitting number 1 in the championship standings. It looks like for the most part, everyone playing a nice, cool, calm, clean race here. So it looks like Frank might be holding up James Watson just a little tick here. Good to see Joan Sanchez back on track after a little bit of a hiatus. As we're already working lap number 3 of 120. For the most part, it looks like we've single filed out here. There's still action up towards the front of the pack. As the 2 of Chris Champeau is trying to make a move around the outside of Christian Budd. Couldn't quite get there this time. But geez, isn't he looking threatening? Christian Budd actually having to open up the outside lane for him now as they come into turn 1. And Chris Champeau might be able to make the move stick here. Boxes down Christian Budd a little bit, and he's going to have the momentum. As James Watson looks like he got tight. Someone else looking like they got in the wall there in the background. And here goes the 2 of Chris Champeau, now clean and clear into the lead of this race. Using that outside momentum. As Christian Budd was trying to run the inside line. Didn't quite work out for him. Looks like this is definitely a 2nd, 3rd or 4th groove kind of track. Going to be flirting with that asphalt on the outside. Now we're going to go and have a look at the 24 of Frank Isaacson. Got a few friends here with him. 60 Carl Kraus, 23 John Lazelle. James Watson there in the 39 as well. And the 78 Brian Pizzakemi. These guys are not afraid to let it all hang out here early. So I don't know where the advantage lies for tyres. So you want to be running the inside mostly or the outside. I know the outside's good for speed, but is it good for tyre life too? That's going to be the ultimate question. A little bit of road rage somewhere here in the back. 5 of Mark Penskov gets punted off into the wall. Goes San Diego Bravo trying to make a move on James Watson. We're already 10 laps into this race, which means only 110 left to go. So the action towards the front might be starting to heat up here a little bit. So let's go check out the action with our leader, the 2-car of Chris Champeau. Oh, and look at how close Christian Budd is to him now. Not very much between these two drivers. You can see the gap there is only about 1.1 to 0.2 of a second. That heads-to-head that you see at the bottom of your screen, that's one of the things that you don't normally get to see that I use as my information. To get a little bit of an inside look. Normally I have a track map and stuff like that up as well. But I can't quite do that right now. Not with this screen being the main focus of everything. Chris Champeau is still looking pretty good here, just defending nicely from Christian Budd. Christian, whose tyres will naturally be getting warmer just by running in behind to Chris Champeau. Very close quarters these guys are going. Go back and have a look deeper in the pack here a little bit though. Oh, I think we just caught the tail end of Frank Isaacson smacking into the wall coming out of turn 4. There's poor Jones Sanchez as well. He's just looming there in the background. Just so that Frank can't get that inside run going. Now Jaron's going to have a try at it. Oh no, Jaron's just going to punt Frank. Frank keeps it under control, and this gives a huge advantage to the 15 of Ken Campbell, who just swoops around both of them and takes over that 7th position. Now Frank is not normally a man who looks for revenge, but I wouldn't blame him if he tried to get it this time on Sanchez. The thing is, he's got to try and slot up into that outside line. It's going to be hard with Jonas Marquez hanging in there on his quarter panel. Looks like now things are starting to calm down here a little bit. And Campbell still on the move, trying to make a move on James Watson now. I think we also have a battle for the lead underway. We do. Christian Budd trying to take the inside line. Chris Champeau defending around the outside. Oh, close to contact. Oh, that was a drag race for the end. That was going to be Chris Champeau winning that one. Let's see what Christian Budd can do now that he's got the lead back. We're 20 laps down, 100 to go. Not sure how much of a factor fuel is going to play in this race. And it looks like Christian Budd's starting to pull away from Chris Champeau now. Go back through the field and see what we can see happening. A lot of varying lines going on towards the back of the pack here. Everyone's just trying to find their own little comfy bit of track to race on. It definitely looks like everyone's just taking it pretty easy right now. No one really trying to make too many moves too early. It looks like someone's experimenting with some alternate dimensions. looks like we're starting to get a little bit of a group forming now. Got the 13 of Travis smashed to the 64, Jonas Marquez, Kyle Kraus and Frank Isaacson. These guys battling it out for the back end of the top 10. Hampshire, of course, in 9th. Big move being thrown there by Kyle Kraus onto Marquez. Oh, Marquez looked like he had a brush with the wall. Allowed Kraus to get through. Isaacson now trying to make a move. What can Frank do? Jonas trying to protect that lower line a little bit. He got up into the weeds and that slowed up his momentum. Managed to hold on to some of it though. There goes Kyle, now to the inside of Travis. Can he make another move stick? Oh, James Watson. Looking like he had a wild moment coming out of turn 2 there. Definitely not very characteristic there by Watson. Oh, Frank Isaacson having the same issues. Now dropped down to 12th position behind Jonas. Kyle Kraus trying to make the move stick on James Watson. Getting a great run out of the low side of the corner. He made that look so easy. That's now Kyle Kraus up into 8th. Next target on his list is Jaron Sanchez in P8. Hampshire also trying to make a move on Watson and move himself up into 9th. It looks like Watson just giving him the position, kind of. He's trying to fight back on this outside line. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. Inside just looks like it's got the advantage right now. Having a look at my little mini map, everything is definitely pretty strung out. John Lazelle's starting to make a little bit of a charge towards Chris Champeau though. Keep an eye on this, see how he goes. As you can see, he's closing the gap in on Chris and he's extending the gap out to Brian. Now he's right on Chris's tail. So what can he do? Looks like Lizelle making that move stick in 3 and 4 this time. To go new second place driver. But what can he do to try and catch Christian Budd now? Going to be the ultimate question. Christian Budd with a 3-second lead. Let's go back to focusing on crashes. While we do that, we're also going to go to a commercial break. Make sure you guys stay tuned. More action here for the MS 120 coming up soon. Welcome back to the MS Society of Canada's 120 here from the New Hampshire Motor Speedway on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel. And our leaders have already started encountering some lap traffic. TJ Crampton actually caught up behind here a little bit. We've had 4 people who have conducted pit stops. That's Crampton, Sanchez, Watson, and Frank Isaacson. I'm assuming due to tyre wear, possibly some of these guys having a couple of bungles along the way. Means we might possibly see some green flag stops soon. Since tyre wear has been a big talking point this week. Harrington with the fresher tyres gets around Chris Champeau quite easily. Actually, no, that was John Lizelle. My apologies. John Lizelle, our second place driver. Ryan Pizzakemi up into fourth. He's just looking for some good point. Comes Jaron Sanchez with his fresher tyres. Oh, and Sanchez gone around. And that's not brought out our first caution of the day. How did that not bring out a caution? That has severely hampered Sanchez. He's actually almost in dead last. And now he is in dead last. Let's see if we can see any other action going on around the track. Set the camera back to crashes. There's a 50 Christian Budd in some heavy lap traffic, including the charging TJ Crampton, who, as mentioned before, has pitted and has fresh tyres on that car. So dealing with some drivers on fresher tyres. Hope you guys enjoyed listening to the sights and the sounds of these awesome machineries as they go around this track. We're almost at the halfway mark. Still John Lozelle leading the way as Christian Budd has now just entered the pits. Very smart choice coming in at the halfway point. Looks like just about everyone coming into the pits this time. Everyone looking for some new shoes and some fuel. John Lozelle actually going to have to pit here shortly as well. A little bit of a battle here on screen between James Watson and Frank Isaacson. In the background, flailing a little bit is Jaron Sanchez. John Lozelle leading the way. Looks like TJ Crampton's in P2. Christian Budd has cycled through to stay in third. That's bad news bears for everyone as John Lozelle's in the pits. TJ Crampton leading the way here. Oh, that's not TJ. That one's TJ. Christian Budd is only looming 11.5 seconds behind TJ Crampton. That won't take him very long to catch up at all. Looks like Jaron Sanchez is actually in P7 right now. But he's still struggling. That car must be absolutely evil. Definitely not looking like it's handling too well. That's just another car that Christian Budd has to get through before he can get to TJ Crampton. Let's go and focus on crashes here a little bit. I think we've actually lost Kyle Kraus from the race. No, he's just in the pits. He spent an awful long time in the pits there. Everyone else is just finding their ways around Jaron Sanchez. Sanchez now down to 9th. There's TJ. We're loving leading this right now. But he knows that 50 of Christian Budd's in clean air doing his own thing right now. Here's Senio Brian Pizzicami trying to make moves on our leader. Fizikemi trying to get his 1 lap back. Much like James Watson was able to do. Fizikemi doing it around the outside lane. Where Angels fear to tread. One wide, I would like to say. Oh, 3 wide though. That's a dangerous position, especially around a track this small. And Fizikemi manages to find a gap to slot himself into. James Watson finds himself going back 1 lap down. Ken Campbell's starting to make his way through as well, trying to get back onto the lead lap. TJ Cranton has 32 laps on his tyres. I think Kyle Kraus, for all intents and purposes, is going to be out of this race. He's 12 laps down and still in the pits. Very unfortunate. There's the 4 of Jaron Sanchez. Trying to make a move on Frank Isaacson. And that is for position. And there is the 50 of Christian Budd finally getting into this lap traffic. He's brought that gap down immensely. TJ Crampton. Only 3.6 seconds now, as you guys can see in the bottom left of your screen. That is the power of the pit strategy right there. What I think we might do here is we're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll be taking on the rest of the action here in this race. The MS Society of Canada 120 run a New Hampshire Motor Speedway. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Right, during the commercial, we've had our first caution of the race right here for the 5 of Mark Pentacuff. You see this is in turns 1 and 2. Looks like the car just steps out on him. He gets it completely sideways and spins it up to the outside wall. There you go, a little bit of a thud on the wall as well for good measure. So that has brought out our first caution of the day, and this is going to greatly benefit TJ Crampton because he doesn't have to make a stop under green, and everyone will have to pit. Well, everyone that's on the lead lap will have to pit anyway. Let's see how it's going to happen when they come out of the pits this time. Oh, and a good run for Christian Budd getting out of his pit box. He's going to snake the lead away from TJ Crampton here. But quite a fair few of the lap down cars pitting as well. Also a fair few who are looking to take waiver rounds. You can see in front of Christian there. Have Kyle Kraus, who's made his way back out from the pits. Travis Masia and Jaron Sanchez all looking for waiver rounds. Jaron's so keen for a waiver round that he's trying to get through the pace car to get there. As we're now officially 3/4 of the way through this race. That's 80 laps down, 40 to go. We're going to get the restart here with 39 laps left. So it is well and truly a sprint to the end from here. Christian Budd, TJ Crampton, John Lozelle, Brian Pizzakemi, Ken Campbell, Chris Champo, James Watson, Jaron Sanchez, and Travis Masia make up the top 9 and the only cars on the lead lap. Jonas Marquez, first car, 1 lap down. Frank Isaacson, a lap down as well. And Mark Pentecoff, 2 laps down. Kyle Kraus in 13th, 11 laps down. Alright, the restart will be on the leader. Pace car pulls in. And we're off and racing. Very early jump from Christian Budd. Let's see what TJ can do while he's on equal tyres with everyone else. He's already being challenged by John Lozelle on the inside line. If I remember correctly, that outside line holds the momentum quite nicely on fresh tyres, or at least on equal tyres. It looks like everyone got through that cleanly. We do have another little battle forming, not back here. Where's that battle that I saw? Right there. Ken Campbell, and that's the 2 of Chris Champo. They're battling it out for the 5th position. Side by side through 3 and 4 they go. Chris having the momentum out of the corner, but Campbell with the overall momentum off the top of the corner. This is a real titanic battle. These guys have been side by side for a while. Looks like Ken Campbell might actually be giving up the position here a little bit. He's just not driving it as deep into the corner as what he could be doing. I guess he must have heard me because he's starting to pick up the pace now. PJ Crampton trying his best to keep up with Christian Budd. He's already lost half a second to our leader. And we have another safety car on the track. This one's towards the back of the field. Might be the 24 Frank Isaacson that it was. Have a look, see if it was Frank. And it was. Coming in for a dive on James Watson. That would have been a huge slide job too. And again, the rear end just starting to step out on him there. You saw it. And around he goes. That's what's brought out the second caution of this race. Already a few cars taking the pits, including Travis Massier and Jaron Sanchez. The wave around cars who didn't pit under the last caution. Jonas Marquez was the lucky dog wave around, and Frank Isaacson going to be stuck one lap down here, unable to get a wave around because no one else pitted. We're all starting to get formed up here, so we might be on 2 to green. Means the next time at the line is going to be 1 to green. We are indeed on 1 to green. So we're going to have at the line 89 laps complete, which means just 31 laps to go when we get the green flag. All the action is happening here at the end of the race. Well, off and racing.
Green flag.
Sound like there was a little bit of argy-bargy there as we're coming to the green. Looks like Chris Champeau's trying to take advantage. We know that John Lozelle just took advantage, taking up the second position. One of PJ Crampton trying to fight back up on the inside of John Lozelle. almost a touch between Chris Champeau and Brian Pizzacchemi, as the 61 does prevail and take over the second position. Have a look at this battle going on here. Although that's just been won out by Brian Pizzacchemi, who takes over the fourth position. Like in the background, Kyle Kraus clouded the wall coming out of turn 2. Here comes Chris Champeau now up the inside of Pizzacchemi once more. Oh, in the background, Mark Bentacuff. Looked like he went for a wild ride, and he did. Not going to bring out a caution because he's well and truly on the apron. Got loose coming out of turn 2, and he just could not stop on the grass. Whammo. That's going to be his race done and dusted. Although he is trying to soldier on, that car will have a lot of damage. Ken Campbell trying to find a way around the outside of Chris Champeau. That'll be for the 5th position. Behind them is a battle as well between Jaron Sanchez and James Watson. Those two battling out over 7th. Watson just tapping the wall a little bit. Chris Champeau also looking for a move back on the 15. Chris Champeau still trying to battle it out there, keeping an eye on this battle between the 4 and the 39. But Sanchez almost actually got tight and ran into James Watson. Lucky he didn't. Number 13, Travis Massio fancies a move on Sanchez as well. As we're almost in the final 20 laps. This is where the intensity is going to start picking up a little bit. But guys are going to start pushing a little bit beyond their means. Especially with everyone being kind of grouped up still. Go back to focusing on crashes. We're focusing on this battle. The main focus has been on James Watson. I was just unable to get that inside line to work on Sanchez. For the most part, it looks like everyone has strung out once more. Smasher again, big dive to the inside of Sanchez. Sanchez holding his own. Side by side for the first time they go coming out of turn 2. And that inside line starting to come in with the older tyres. As now we go back up towards the front. John Lazelle. I think I just heard the 50 of Christian Blood make a very uncharacteristic mistake and hit the wall. Could have a net code because he does seem to be blinking a little bit. Definitely hasn't deterred him from going fast. So Brian Pisacemi, the fastest time that last lap, 30.876. So now we have 19 to go. I think we're going to take disadvantage to do a little bit of a crank it up. Just because why not? All right, we are back. We're back on this nice little battle pack between Watson, Sanchez, and Masia. It looks like Watson trying to defend so hard that he just about clouded the wall coming out of turn 2 last time by. Trying to use all the momentum he can get off that outside line. That time he spooked Master a little bit. Stayed way away from the wall. Ken Campbell now moves around Christian Poe. That's for 5th. Lap down Mark Pentacuff just in front of them. And here comes Christian Poe fighting back. Well, Campbell really got out of it that time, expecting Pentacuff to stay in his way. That could be a costly mistake for him. Back to this battle. Ooh, a little bit of looseness coming out of turn 2 for the 13 car. Travis Mascher. I think that time Sanchez was actually the one who got the wall coming out of turn 4. Just a nice little stripe. Now Sanchez getting loose out of 2. Comes Masia now to the inside. Oh, contact. That was definite door-to-door contact. But Watson isn't scared. He gets it. Absolutely ripping on that high line to get back side by side with Masia. Masia not leaving Watson very much room on the entries here. Watson absolutely using that momentum on the outside to his advantage. Another little door as they come down the main straight. And that was just Watson's way of saying, hey, I want a little bit more room here. For the most part, so far, Watson is maintaining that 7th position. Gap at the front's gone out to 1.5 seconds now. And we have just 9.5 laps to go. But still side-by-side battling these two go. Oh, touch there as well from Massey onto the back of Watson. That could have turned very dangerous very quickly. I think these guys are going to be continuing this little battle for the rest of the race. Just stalemating mostly. No one really gaining too much of an advantage over the other. Oh, and a tap from Massey on the back of Watson. Actually allowed the Forrest Sanchez to get up underneath him now. Massey very quickly maintains composure in that spot. I think he went a little bit too deep there. Sanchez trying to come up with another run. Not going to find anything doing there though. There's now just going to be 5 laps to go in this race. As our leaders just crossed the start finish line for the 115th time. Sanchez, after making the move on Massey, is just trying to hold him off. 64 Jonas Marquez trying to buy into this battle as well. See some telltale smoke there. Someone who got it wrong coming out of pit lane, which would have been the 60 of Kyle Kraus. And he looks like now he is OUT out of the race. Now we're starting to get into the business in the last 3 laps. Gonna watch our leader here for these last few. Although it looks like a battle forming here behind. TJ Crandall got a little bit loose coming out too. Battle is on for second with John Lazelle. On the penultimate lap now. This is the second last time these guys will be crossing this track. Come through turns 3 and 4 for the penultimate time. Going to be white flag, last lap, last chance to win it or wear it for Christian Budd. As these guys are scrapping over the rest of the podium. That's a big lead that Christian Budd has, and he's going to be taking all the momentum from this through to the final round next week. Coming out of turns 3 and 4 for the final time, your winner for the MS Society of Canada 120 here from the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, going to be the 50 car of Mr. Christian Budd. P2 is going to go the way of John Lazelle over TJ Crampton. P4 to be Brian Pizzacchemi and then Chris Champo in 5th. Kyle Kraus, our only DNF of the race, and how the hell did Mark Pentecoff finish the race with his car being that severely damaged? It's time for some burnouts. Christian Budd doing it in style. That's going to wrap up our race proceedings. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to have driver interviews. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Alrighty, we're going to be kicking things off here with our third place getter. And our third place getter is, of course, going to be the 61 of Mr. TJ Crampton. TJ, you don't race with us very often, but when you do, you definitely know how to put on a show. Congratulations on P3 here tonight.
Yeah, thank you. It was those last few laps were very exhilarating for me. I'm sweating, but overall, it's a pretty fun race. Wish that yellow didn't have wouldn't have came out, but that very first one. But it was pretty fun, and um, I try to race as much as I can, but sometimes stuff happens.
It definitely looked like when that yellow came out, it actually came out to your advantage a little bit, with you being nearing what would have been your pit cycle for the green flag stop. So you had to make that stop under caution. But what was the thought process for you, like coming to that restart?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I mean, some people think it's an advantage. I think it's a disadvantage. I know it's near my pit cycle, but I feel like since people were pitting around halfway and I was trying to two stop it and split it in thirds, I feel like I would have had more tires at the end of the race and been able to catch him. But overall, it was a fun race, and I'm kind of glad that yellow came out because I don't think I would have had that as much fun as I did at the end of the race. So yeah, for sure. And the restart, I didn't get a good pit stop, so Christian beat me out, and I'm not the best when it comes to restarting second, so he got a good jump, and I was just able to sit behind Christian, and then Lozelle ended up getting me at the end. We had one hell of a battle side by side. I don't even know for how many laps, but it was really intense for me.
All right, now let's look forward to next week, mate. Not sure if you're going to be joining us or not, but we're having our grand finale for the season at the Michigan Speedway. What's the feeling like for you heading to Michigan?
Yeah, I'll be there. Michigan, love that track. I have some experience with it for the next gen, so pretty excited. Um, Kind of the sister track to my home track of Auto Club, so kind of similar, kind of not, but very excited to go there. Gonna be pack racing with these next gen cars, but it's usually always fun. Just can't wait for that.
All right, but before we let you go here tonight, mate, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
I want to thank you for sure for broadcasting all the races. I want to thank Jaron for putting on the league each and every week, and I want to thank Matthew Van Gelder at JEM E-Racing for the car.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming out, mate. Congratulations on P3, and we look forward to seeing what you can do next week when we head to Michigan.
Thanks, Corey.
All right, guys, that was our third place getter here tonight, Mr. TJ Crampton. And as I said, he doesn't get to race with us very often, but when he does, he's usually pretty damn good. Coming up next, we are going to have our Hard Charger Award winner. And today's Hard Charger is also going to be our second place getter. And that is, of course, the number 23 of Mr. John Lozelle. John, fantastic race for you out there today. You looked like you had pace in the longer runs compared to everyone else. How did it feel out there for you?
It was tight going in and then loose coming off. But yeah, I was just trying to run a nice even race, same line every single time, and see what I could do. I know I can't catch Christian, so I was hoping for a top three.
All right, now let's talk about those late race cautions. How much did they change the strategy you had set in your mind, and how the final couple of runs went towards the end of the race there?
Well, the first caution that came out in the after we pitted, what did we run like 10, 15 laps? So I saw everybody else pitting, and I pitted also, and then that was it for tires. And then that last run, I figured I got to push it a little more, so I just did that. Just found a little extra effort, and then TJ was doing really good on the top line, and I just kept saying, staying with my middle, and then I finally rolled them. I think my tires just caught up, the way I was racing.
All right, man. Now let's look forward towards next week. We're having our grand finale at the Michigan International Speedway. What's the feeling like for you heading into Michigan to wrap up the season?
I'm just looking for a top three finish in the season. That's what I'm looking for, and not wreck out. The last season I had really bad luck, and I wrecked probably 7 times or something like that. So just want to finish and finish in the top three.
All right, mate. Well, before we let you go here tonight, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, I always want to give a shout out to you and your YouTube channel, and also my daughter Scarlett.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming out, man. Congratulations on getting the Autism Awareness Hard Charger Award for the penultimate round of the season. And we look forward to seeing what you can do next week. We'll go racing at Michigan.
Thank you, Corey. You have a good night.
All right, guys, that was John Lozelle, our second place getter and our Hard Charger Award winner. And it's always great to have him up in the booth. One of the good guys, for sure. But coming up next, we're going to have today's winner. And of course, it's got to be this guy. He's always winning, never lets anyone else win. And that's exactly the way that he likes it, is, of course, the 50 car of Mr. Christian Budd. Christian, fantastic racing out there for you today. but a couple of late race cautions could have thrown a spanner into the works for you there.
Yeah, I didn't want to see that. That first caution we had, thought I probably had the race pretty much in hand at that point. Um, TJ was on a different strategy. He was going to pit again, and uh, so felt like I had it. And then, fortunately, I was able to get the lead back on the pit stop. And then once you could control the restarts, that's a big plus too. And TJ was really fast. I was pulling him a little bit there at the end, but not much. He was we were within the same tenth, I think, most laps. And then at the beginning, I thought Chris was really fast. So, you know, definitely no slouches out there today. Had to work for it.
Work for you did. TJ definitely tried to make it interesting for you in those last couple of runs with his alternate strategy, ultimately not working out for him when that caution fell.
Yeah, I mean, it probably kind of saved him because I don't think he was gonna have to pit again. I don't think he was gonna be able to get back around. Ultimately to finish where he did. So I think that if he had kept the lead on that pit stop, then it could have been a really different race. That would have been pretty interesting to see if I could have got by him or not. But fortunately, he didn't have to try and find out.
And also earlier in the race, had a great little stoush there with the two of Chris Champeau. Chris has definitely been improving a lot this season, and his pace has really been showing lately.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Chris, I don't ever count Chris out because he's pretty consistently up in the top five, and um, he's shown speed. He won at USA in the trucks, beat me, so certainly he can win. And there's quite a few guys in here that have good pace, So fortunate, I'm winning a lot, but fortunate to be able to do that because, like I said, these guys they don't let you win.
All right, now let's look forward to next week, the championship finale from the Michigan International Speedway. What's the feeling like for you heading into, well, something that you don't like, a big mile and a half drafty track to wrap up the season?
Yeah, I kind of wish we'd ended it here instead of there, but it is what it is. Didn't really didn't do great at Kentucky. I didn't feel like. So we'll just have to see. I mean, going in with a points advantage, which is good. Um, but anything can happen in that big kind of track like that, and if there's a big crash or something takes you out early, then you're just sitting there trying to watch and see what happens as far as the points go. So, I think we'll be able to run okay if we don't get crashed out. But it's going to be a big draft pack, and there's probably going to be a lot of pushing and passing. So, hopefully, it'll be exciting for season finale.
All right, Nate. Before we let you go, we know you got a couple of people you got to give shout outs to. So you got to give a shout out to this week.
Yeah, just everybody at Output. Everybody who's been showing up. I know car counts have been down, and that's been down for a lot of leagues and everything. But the core group of guys showing up every week, I do appreciate that. A lot of fun to race with all these guys. And then Smith Sim Racing starting to kind of gear back up for Road to Pro. So looking forward to doing that again next year. And of course the Aussie Sim commentator who's going to bring us these races, which is really fun to watch.
Well, thank you very much for coming out, Christian. Absolute pleasure to talk to you each and every single week. And we look forward to seeing what you can do next week at the grand finale for this season at the Michigan International Raceway.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys, that was our winner today. And just quietly, one of the top standing drivers to take out the championship, Mr. Christian Budd. But that is going to wrap it up for us here today. And as I said, next week, championship deciding race at the Michigan Speedway. It should be an absolute cracking race to watch. Don't forget to tune in next week. And I won't forget that the race will be on and I'll actually be here on time. So until next week, I've been your commentator, the Aussie Sim commentator, and we'll see you then.